Mine squinted against the soft morning light as her phone buzzed instantly on the seat beside her. Still half asleep, she murmured, "Ma," and rolled slightly, fumbling blindly for the device. Her finger brushed it, and without fully opening her eyes, she answered, letting out a soft hum. "Fine, where are you?" Mine's eyes fluttered open, focusing on the skin. "Why are you yelling so early, Zeren?" "Early. It's 8 a.m., Vanshi. Why aren't you here yet? We have practice. The program starts at 10 a.m. The chief gets here at 9:30. And you are asking why I'm shouting?" Vine's gaze fell on the clock. Her eyes widened, panic as reality hit her. She muttered, jolting upright, hair tousled, heart racing. "Why did I sleep so much? Vine, I want you here in half an hour. I don't know what's going on." But the call abruptly ended, leaving her staring at the phone in horror. She faced palm groaning. Her eyes darted around the familiar room. Panic surged as she realized she wasn't in her own room. A knock on the door made her startle. She turned, spotting a woman carrying a tray. "Who are you? And where I am?" The woman paused, about to answer, when Mayan's gaze fell on the figure behind her. Her brows furrowed. "You? Um, actually, you fell asleep last night, so I brought you here." Ryan blinked, staring at him in desperation. "Since you're awake, you can have breakfast." Ryan scrambled off the bed, clutching her head. "What do you mean? You brought me here without asking, without even telling me where I'm going? You could have just woke me up. What did you do?" "Listen, no, you listen. Is it really that a big deal for you to wake me up?" Jungkook's jaws flexed as he took a step closer. "Didn't wake you up. Do you even realize how you were sleeping like you hadn't slept in ages? There was so much noise, and not once did your eyes dare to open." Ryan froze for a moment, her panic battling with a flicker of guilt. Jungkook's voice softened slightly as to his expression. "Yes, I brought you here. You were dead to the world. You wouldn't have woken up in time, and you would have missed everything. Do you get it now?" Jungkook ran a hand through his hair, exhaling sharp, trying to keep calm. "But I could have handled it. I don't need anyone to babysit me." "You actually need a babysitter." Ryan shot him a glare, pressing her lips tight. "Now eat before it gets cold." "No, I'm getting late." "Now you're actually behaving so rude. Do you even realize I called her early just to make breakfast for you?" Ryan glanced at the woman serving the breakfast. She gave a small smile, encouraging smile. Ryan let out a shaky breath, realizing she had no choice but to follow. But as she moved toward the tray Jungkook had prepared, she couldn't help but notice how protective he seemed, like he belonged in his small act of care, even if it felt out of place. Why does he care so much? Jungkook, catching the faint murmur, gave her a side glance. One corner of his lips twitched amusement and something softer in his eyes. What was that? Mine's eyes widened, a blush creeping across her cheeks. Nothing, I'm fine." She quickly grabbed a piece of toast to hide her flush. Jungkook shook his head, letting a small, almost imperceptible smile target his lips as he returned to his focus to breakfast tray. Ryan snatched a piece of toast, ready to dart out of the door, but Jungkook stepped slightly forward, subtly blocking her path. "I really need to go. I'm late." "Late for what? So you can sprint around like a headless chicken? You look worse than if you just ate properly." Ryan half trying to sidestep him, but he gently tapped Trey. "First eat, second coffee, third. Maybe you can fly off like a superhero." "I'm not a superhero." "Clearly not, but you act like one every time you rush." Wine groaned and sat back down delicately. Grabbing a slice of toast, Jungkook watched for a moment, eyes softening before clearing his throat and moving to the counter to pour a cup of coffee. Here, don't burn yourself and don't forget to breathe. You're already late, but no point looking like a zombie when you arrive. Wine blinked at the cup in her hands, the warmth and aroma grounding her unexpectedly. Her gaze met his, and for the briefest instant, and the teasing in his eyes melted into something protective, almost tender. I do always end up getting stuck with him. You're choosing. Her eyes widened, shocked as they locked with his intensity holding in her place. Wow, bring some flowers to welcome the princess. She made it on time. Her smile was tight-lipped as Lion stepped into the saloon, eyes briefly meeting Damon's. Stop taunting her. I'm not taunting, but seriously, it's Naya and mine. Sorry, I would have come earlier, but let's start the practice. Yeah, we still have plenty of time left. I took a deep breath, trying to shake off the lingering panic from the morning. She moved to her spot, adjusting her posture as Seren quickly handed her a sheet of music. Okay, focus. We have to get this right before chief guest arrives. Don't stress. You're here now. That's what matters. I nodded, giving a small, grateful smile before looking up at others. The room buzzed with energy. Felix tapping his feet, adjusting its sheet of music, Siren directing, and everyone finding their places. Alright, let's do it. At first, notes filled with the room, Wine felt herself gradually slipping into rhythm, her nerves settling as the music carried her focus. Jungkook's earlier protective words echoed faintly in her mind, making her smile, oddly grounded. Perfect. That's the energy I want to keep it up, everyone. See, you're fine. Let's cast this rehearsal. Wine's lips curved into determined smile as she adjusted her grip on the sheet music, ready to give it her all. You know who's the guest is? I heard it's some CEO of big company. Oh, I guess we're getting ready for the placement. The principal is really smart. What's the name? Sen gave a tight-lipped smile. I forgot. Felix shook his head in disappointment. Who wants CEOs at annual function? I need some celebrity. That would be great. Why not? Celebrity will get you placements. Damon snapped at Vine, noticing she was lost in thought and just aware. She shook her head and Saren spoke. You're acting different today. Did something happen? Vine blinked momentarily, startled by the Saren's sudden question. She shook her head quickly, trying to shake off the lingering haze of the morning panic. No, I'm fine. Just thinking, I guess. Jehun chuckled, nudging her lightly. Or maybe someone's got your brain stuck in daydream again. Damon's eyes widened. Who else than me? He asked. And Vine gave him a subtle, exasperated look. I'm not dancing with you if you keep flirting like this. Damon rolled his eyes, throwing his head back. Why do you always friend zone me? He murmured. Because you are a friend. You'll find someone better than me. Don't want one. Serene, I'm not dancing with him. Felix, do you want? Okay, okay, sorry. I'll keep my mouth shut, okay? Vine shot him one last warning. She forcefully put her hand on his, and he smiled, nodding like a puppy. Guys, we have to nail it. Don't ruin this. I'm not letting anyone mess up except Vine. Why except her? Because we all know she is the best dancer in our group. Damon's grin spread wide, pride practically radiating off him, while Vine let out a small, resigned sigh. The announcer's voice boomed through the hall. We are honored to welcome Kim Tae-hung, CEO of Blackbridge Partners, Sean Jungkook, CEO of Orion Holdings, and former CEO of Sterling Global, Lee Jung-young. Vines froze, her eyes widening, a shiver running down her spine at particular name. The others followed her gaze, and five of them exchanged amused wide-eyed glances. What's on the earth they pulled CEOs from these big companies? Since when did our college get so rich? Everyone nodded in agreement except Vine, whose attention was glued to the stage, mind racing. Why me, God? Ready, champs? Yes, Professor. Great, make us proud. The backstage monitor flickered and the announcer's voice filled the hall again, clear and crisp. Up next, we are proud to present the sensational dance troupe from the Handim University featuring the talented Ryan Kim and her incredible team. Get ready for a performance that will leave you breathless. A ripple of applause echoed even before the team stepped onto the stage. Ryan felt his stomach tighten, a mix of nerves and adrenaline flooding through her. The crowd buzzing faintly in the background, Taehyung's eyes widened. Is that Arvine? Jungkook shot him a sharp look. What do you mean by Arvine? Suddenly the light went out and the single spotlight illuminated the stage. Taehyung leaned forward, curiosity peaked, eyes fixed on the figure stepping into the gloom. The team walked confidently onto the stage. Ryan lingered at the back, nerves flirting in her chest. Her eyes scanned the darkened audience, searching for one particular presence. Before she could steady herself, Taemin gently grasped her hand, pulling her slightly forward. Hey, what's going on with you? Ryan's eyes widened at the unexpected contact, a flicker of heat rising to her cheeks. It's fine only. He shot a glance at Jungkook, whose eyes briefly met her sharp, unreadable lips pressed into a thin line. Taehyung gulped, hiding his mischievous grin. Chalice moved on. Jungkook's jaws tightened, eyes locked on Vine as she stepped onto the stage. His gaze was intense, silent, as if memorizing every move, every flicker of expression. Vine's heartbeat sped under the spotlight, nerves threatening to take over. Taemin squeezed her hand lightly, grounding her, giving her just enough to courage to straighten her back and face the audience. Taehyung leaned toward Jungkook, unable to hide his excitement. Look at her, she's glowing. Jungkook's lips twitched in half smile, but his eyes remained sharp, watchful, almost possessive. Taehyung grinned, enjoying how his friend attempts at composure couldn't hide the intensity of his expression. Mine moved with rhythm, and then her eyes met his, the sharp one. The daggers in his gaze made her freeze, confusion and unexplainable tension rising in her body. She faltered, forgetting her steps for a heartbeat, but Taemin, sensing it, nudged her gently, guiding her back into the flow. Ryan's body tensed as her gaze locked with Jungkook's across the stage. The intensity in his eyes was almost tangible, a sharp, consuming focus that made her stomach twist into knots. Her legs faltered for a split second, rhythm slipping on her mind. Damien, noticing her pause, subtly shifted closer, guiding her with a light touch on her back. Hey, focus, you've got this, just follow the beat. Ryan swallowed hard, nodding, trying to choke down the sudden rush of his heat creeping over her. Her eyes flicked back to the audience, then instantly to Jungkook again. The daggers in his gaze seemed to be pierced through her, stirring a strange mixture of fear, excitement, and something unnameable. She stumbled slightly, but Taemin's steadying hand and a deep breath held her to catch rhythm again. The music pulsed around her, and slowly she started moving in time, each time more confident than the last. But every move was fast shadowed by the awareness of him, standing there like silent Daniel, watching every detail. Taehyung, still whispering excitedly, said Jungkook nudged him lightly. See, she is unstoppable, even with her scary stares. Jungkook's jaws flexed, a corner of his mouth tugging upward. Despite himself, his gaze remained fixed on her. Ryan, slightly breathless now, felt a strange pull on his attention, how her body responded, even in the middle of the public performance. Taemin leaned into a whisper, and Taehyung slightly leaned towards Jungkook, smirking as he pulled out his phone. So, boyfriend coded partner. Jungkook shot him a little glare. The lights came up, the performance ended, applause filled with the room, and the group board Wine hurried off the stage immediately. Taemin right behind her. Jungkook's gaze darker, following her retreating figure as Taehyung leaned closer, teasing. Bro, you just scared her. She ran without even doing her ending fairy properly. Why are you looking at her like that, like you will eat her alive? And she isn't even your girlfriend. Jungkook's glare could have frozen the fire, but he didn't break the eye contact with the doorway where Wine had vanished. Wine took the water, her hands still trembling slightly as she gulped it down. The cool liquid grounded her a little, easing the tight knot in her chest. What Wine? Why you were forgetting the steps? Seren even said, it's okay, it happens, no one's perfect. Wine exhaled, nodding, still catching her breath. Damon leaned in slightly, concern lacing in his voice. Are you okay, Wine? Here, drink some more water. Wine obediently took another sip, feeling the warmth of the gesture. Siren, however, watched her suspiciously, lips pressed into a straight line, as if trying to read some unspoken secret behind in Wine's flustered state. Wine, noticing the stares, forced a small, reassuring smile, hoping it was enough to satisfy her teacher's curiosity. I got you. They waved through the gathering crowds of students, the murmur of chatter rising around them. Suyu nudged the group, eyes sparkling with excitement. Hey, I think we should go there. Taemin's face lit up, curiosity and excitement mixing up as he nodded. Jehun, raising an eyebrow, glanced around. What's there? Seren leaned in, her voice dropping a constipated whisper. I saw our chief guest. Ryan's mouth parted slightly, a flicker of surprise crossing her features, but before she could say a word, Seren's grip tightened. Come on, Ryan. With that, Seren practically dragged her forward, waving through the throng of students as Ryan hurried to keep up, her heart racing in anticipation of what or who laid hat. Girl, I didn't know your Seoni's brother is John Jungkook. He's not just handsome, rich too. And that case during your performance, I saw it all. Seren, I'm just curious. Now I finally know where all that nervousness coming from. Meanwhile, Taehyung moved among the students, smiling warmly as he answered their curious question, clearly impressed with their engagement. His gaze, however, soon fell on Vian's group. He caught her sneaking glances toward the stage again, and with a mischievous grin, he nudged elbow to Jungkook. Jungkook still responding to the question with a composed, authoritative air. Jungkook's jaw slacked slightly, eyes flicking toward Vine, sharp and unreadable, but he said nothing, maintaining his composed demeanor. Hello, sir. Taehyung returned with a bow, friendly smile. Jungkook gave a small nod, his expression unreadable. Taehyung's eyes, however, lingered on Vine. Hi again, Vian. The group froze, turning to Vian with wide eyes. She forced a polite smile back, her gaze darting quickly towards Jungkook, who didn't so much as glance at her. Alright then. Anyone have questions? His tone was smooth, inviting, but his gaze came toward everyone, deliberately avoiding her. The silence stretched until Ryan, you had a question, right? Come on, it's a great opportunity. Every head turned. Ryan's shot went right, her heart hammering against her ribs as she glanced once more to Jungkook. His eyes fixed elsewhere, yet the air around him carried a tension that made her knees weak. Seren's eyes widened, whispering excitedly to Zuyu, and Jaehoon's as if she had just uncovered a secret. While Ryan's stomach stopped at them in sudden words. I don't have. No, you told me earlier you had something in mind. He nudged her again, his tone playful but insistent. The group of students turned their head, curious gaze toward Ryan. Seren's jaw dropped, her eyes darting between Ryan and the CEOs like she was watching the start of a drama scene unfold. Oh, you had a question, Ryan? His tone was warm, teasing like he was genuinely excited to hear from her.
Pine froze under the spotlight attention. Her palms felt clammy, her throat tight. She instinctively looked toward Jungkook, but he was deliberately avoiding her, his expression unreadable as he scanned the crowd. Why is he acting like I don't even exist after everything? Ryan's lips parted, the weight of everyone's eyes pressing down on her. For a moment, she thought she would choke on the silence until the words slipped out before she could stop them. If you had one piece of advice for someone afraid of failing, what it would be? Taehyung's smile widened, but Jungkook kept looking elsewhere as though he hadn't even heard her. The sting of being invisible burned her even more she expected. Answer, Jungkook. Jungkook finally looked at him, his jaw flexing, expression tight. You can answer. Your answer would be perfect. You lived it. You know best. Jungkook exhaled softly, his shoulders shifting as he cleared his throat. Then at last his voice filled the room. Fear of failure is natural. It means you care about what you are doing. But if you let it control you, you'll never move forward. Failure isn't the end, it's a lesson. Fail fast, fail bravely, learn so well that the same mistake never touches you twice. And remember, sometimes what feels like failure is just a redirection. Applause rippled across the hall. Jungkook's lips curved into a polite smile as he looked toward the other student, but not once in Vian's direction. Vian bravely heard the clapping. Her eyes were on him, drinking in every subtle shift of his expression. Every distinct edge in his voice. She wasn't listening to his words, she was studying him. Good question. The words jolted her slightly, pulling her back to the present. Through her mind remained tangled around Jungkook's distant gaze. So, can we take a picture with you? Sure. Come. Then rushed forward, buzzing with excitement. Ryan stayed rooted in place, clutching the strap of her bag, as if it could anchor her. But before she could slip away, Timon grabbed her wrist. Come on, Ryan, you should be in it too. She stumbled a little at the pull, unwilling but unable to refuse. Jungkook's gaze flicked at their joint hands, and for a fleeting second something sharp cut through his carefully guarded expression. His jaw tightened, his eyes narrowing almost imperceptibly. When their eyes met, it was like a spark striking dry wood. His stare was fierce, her certain, questioning, but just as quickly he looked away, his expression smoothing back into calm composure as the group arranged themselves in for the photo. Don't hide in the back, Ryan. You asked the best question, you deserve front row. Ryan's lips parted as if to protest, but Taemin's gentle nudge pushed her forward. She ended upright at the edge of the front row, closer than she would intended, not far from Jungkook. Jungkook didn't move an inch closer than necessary, but Ryan could feel control distant he kept, like invisible wall only he could enforce. Yet when the flash went off, his fine eyes weren't on the lens. For a briefest instant, they were on her. They were on her. Ryan felt it, burned by it. Alright then, I had a great time with you all. A wave of thanks and bows followed, the student buzzing with leftover excitement. Thank you for your time, sir. Work hard. He said it to grow wine, but Vine swore on to weight of those words pressed differently when his eyes flicked across her for a heartbeat. You all did well today. Keep up with this energy. It's rare to see such an engaged student. His gaze slid over Vine, lingering with a playful curve at his lips. Especially you. Whispers rippled through the group again, some students sneaking curious looks between her and two brothers. Vian's face heated under the tension. She dipped her head quickly, hugging her notebook tighter to her chest. She wanted to disappear before anyone asked more questions, before he looked at her again. As the student began dispersing, Vine edged backward toward the door, but just as her hand brushed the handle, Taehyung suddenly stepped into her path, grinning toward. Leaving already? You didn't even say goodbye properly.
Her eyes darted past him instantly straight to Jungkook. He was gathering his jacket, expression neutral, voice low, as he answered another student question. He didn't look at her way once, not even when she was silently begging him to. Wine swallowed hard, caught between Taehyung's playful trap and Jungkook's cold avoidance. His expression was unreadable, his gaze fixed anywhere but her. Not once he did glance her way. Bye and thank you. She dared one last flicker of glance towards Jungkook before shifting her focus back to Taehyung, giving him the only smile she could manage. Anytime. She turned quickly, slipping through the crowd toward the exit. Her heartbeat thundered in her ears, but she didn't dare to look back. The moment the door clicked behind her, Jungkook finally let his eyes follow her retreating figure. The controlled calm he wore cracked, his jaw tightening over so slightly. You acted like a jealous boyfriend today. Shut up. He strode past, irritation radiating over him. Please, Ryan, I'm begging you. My brother has tried his best for 3 years. 3 years to get into Orion Holdings. You know what it's done to him? How much it ruined his mind. This is his dream. The only thing he's holding on to. If you could help him even a little, just one chance, I would be grateful. Anne threw her head back with an exasperated sigh, rolling her eyes. The weight of his word pressed on her, but the way he cornered her only fueled her irritation. Oh, come on, Ryan. It's a piece of cake for you, isn't it? If you can help, why wouldn't you? Her tone was light, but a dig stung. Ryan's jaw clenched as she glanced at the group, her patience thinning. She's not wrong, though. I'm not even asking you to date me this time, and still you reject me like this over something so small. The words hung in the air, heavy and cutting. The group fell quiet, watching Ryan's reactions like spectators, waiting for a spark to ignite. She exhaled heavily. Ryan's shoulders sagged, her exhale heavy and sharp, as if she were forcing out the last of her patience. Fine, I'll try. Damon's face lit up instantly, really flooding him as if he was just being handed the world. Without hesitation, he pulled her into a hug, his arms squeezing tightly. Thank you, buddy, you were the best. Ryan's hands stayed stiff between them, not returning the hug, just trapped in it, her eyes staring past the thinly veiled annoyance. Her lips pressed into a line as others exchanged knowing Zoe smiled like she would warn, Joe nodding in a smug agreement. So his voice burst through the phone, bright and rushed. Fine, you can go to him then, right? I don't know how long it'll take me. Vine stood rooted to the pavement, her eyes lifting to the towering glass building in front of her. The weight of it pressed down on her chest. She let out a long sigh, annoyance slipping through. Okay, Sionni, just come quickly. So his tone softened, almost teasing. If you want, I'll call him for you. Vine's answer came sharp, cutting through before he could even finish. No, I'll talk. A beat of silence, then so he giggled, rang out, sweet and light. Okay, sweetheart, bye. Take care. The line clicked dead. Vine lowered the phone slowly, staring at the building again. Her fingers tightening around as if bracing herself for a storm she wasn't ready to walk into. Vine tipped her head back, glaring at the sky as if it could answer her. The sliding doors opened with the cold whoosh swallowing her into the building's polished silence. The lobby smelled faintly of leather and coffee, the click of her shoes loud against the marble floor. Her eyes flickered to the reception desk, where the staff smiled politely, waiting. Welcome to Orion Holdings. Do you have any appointment? Vine's throat tightened. She parted her lips to answer, but the sound of footsteps echoed far from the hallway. Her head turned instantly. There he was. Sharp black suit, sleeves rolled meticulous, ease, expression clean and unreadable. His stride confident, his voice low, and he spoke to Era, lips tucked into kind, polite, and twisted something deep in Marian's chest. Her breath hissed. Please confirm, do you have any appointment, ma'am? Ryan's head snapped back toward the desk, scrambling. No, she doesn't have any. Ryan's brows twist, her chest tightening in deliberate dismissal. Good afternoon, sir. Anna noticed her, then eyes lit up. Hi, Ryan. Hello. But Jungkook's voice came again, firm, final, as if drawing a line in a stone. She doesn't have any appointment with me. Ryan's jaw twisted, her glare darted to him, sharp and wounded, while Ira sighed quietly, the tension between them thick enough to choke the polished air of lobby. He walked resistant as he walked, while instinctively followed him. The receptionist's voice cut through softly. Ira gently touched her arm, stopping her. It's fine, let her go. Vine didn't think twice, her step quickened, chasing after him. But fate tripped her. Her heel caught against the polished floor, and before she could brace herself, her body lurched forward. Strong hands caught her instantly, like he would known she would fall. One arm firm around her waist, the other steadying against her back. The scent of his cologne hit her, familiar and unshakable. Her breath caught in her throat as her eyes wide, locked with his. His gaze was dark, unwavering. For a moment, the world blurred out. No polished lobby, no eyes watching, just him and her suspended in this room. And everything's unspoken. Then his voice came low and edged, brushing against her ears like steel wrapped in velvet. What brought you here, Miss Kim? Vine steadied herself quickly, pushing lightly against his chest to break free of his hold. Her pulse hammered, but her force chin up, masking the tremor in her voice. I came here for work, no, not for you. His jaw ticked, the faintest flicker in his eyes betraying the weight of her words. He straightened, adjusting his sleeve as if shaking her touch off. Work requires an appointment, which you don't have. I want to talk to you. He let out a scoff, sharp and humorless. Sadly, I don't want to. So you can leave. He gestured toward the way out, final and dismissive. That's so rude. He tilted his head slightly, regarding her with a measured, unreadable gaze. The air between them was taut, like a wire stretched thin too. Rude. I'm stating facts. No appointment, no discussion. Vine's jaw clenched, a tremor of anger passing through her. She took a step closer, defiance glaring despite the tension passing down her. Vine's brows furrowed, chest tightening as she watched him, and he started to walk away. You are weird, you know that? You help when it's not needed, and when I actually need your help, you run. That's not fair. Jungkook paused mid-step, turning slowly to regard her, his expression unreadable, cold but attentive. I believe you didn't need my help. As far as I remember your words. Secondly, you have enough people to help. Maybe your boyfriend? Vine's eyes snapped wide, her brows shooting up in indignation. He's just a friend. Her voice echoed slightly in the lobby, drawing curious glances from receptionist and a few passing employees. Jungkook's gaze flicked toward the onlookers, then back to her, expression softening minutely, but only just. He tilted his head, an almost impressible smirk tugging at his lip, then shook his head softly as if exasperated with her, and finally continued walking, leaving Vine standing there, feet slightly clenched, heart pounding, and eyes falling in every moment. Jungkook strode towards his cabin, Vine hurrying after him. Words stumbled out in a nervous rush. A guard stepped forward, ready to stop her. But a single sharp look from Jungkook was enough. He gave a subtle gesture and the guard stepped aside. The door closed softly behind them and Jungkook leaned casually against his desk, hands in pocket but his eyes sharp, unwavering, followed her every move. Ryan's voice trembled, half panic, half frustration. I told you before, he's just a friend, just a friend. She took a step closer, hands gesturing widely as if no to force her words into him. A friend who asks you out, a friend who holds you like you're his girlfriend, a friend who stares at you that with that much emotion, and you just let it slide. He scoffed, sharp and incredulous. Yet knowing how he feels, you act like you don't see it, or maybe you like it. He rose to Wine's cheeks, her chest tightened, and she tried to argue, but his intensity rose her at his place. Shut up. He raised a hand, slightly cutting off her mid sentence, eyes narrowing. Don't, just listen. The air between them thickened, taut with unspoken word. Wine swallowed hard, realizing for once she might have to stop talking and actually hear him out. You need to either accept what he feels or step back. Stop giving false hopes. You know how wrong that is? Wine's eyes widened in disbelief. Why would I change my side? I don't feel anything for him. He's just a friend. Always has been. I told him. Jungkook scoffed, his expression unchanging, fueling her frustration further. And why do you care? Why do you act like this? You don't even know him, and now I am stuck between you both. I don't know what to do. Jungkook's eyes flickered, caught off guard by the sudden intensity in her voice. Wait, why am I even explaining myself to you? Why am I giving any expression to you? Who are you to me? He froze, lips parting slightly, but no words came. The silence stretched heavy and suffocating. Why did you ignore me like that? Pretended I was invisible. Jungkook's throat went dry. He turned slightly, reaching for his glass of water, trying to steady himself. Mind's eyes didn't leave his face, sharp and unyielding. You have questioned me so much. Now I am asking you, why are you behaving like this? Why do you act like that? How dare you? His eyes widened, caught entirely off guard by her audacity. Girl, why are you acting like you own me? What do you mean by how dare you? He rose to Wine's cheeks and she glanced away, momentarily flustered. Shango exhaled sharply, trying to regain control, shrugging off the confrontation. Forget everything. Why did you came here? Wine tucked a stray strand of her hair behind her ear, her jaw tightening as she met his gaze, unwilling to let the tension fade so easily. He leaned to his table, folding hands across his chest. How can I help you, ma'am? Wine squinted at him, her patience failing. Didn't know you were such a big yapper. Now start yapping again, I'm waiting. You're crossing the line, Mr. Jungle. He chuckled, stepping closer, the air between them shrinking. Did I? I don't think so. I can sense your boundaries from here. Wine softened slightly, her gaze catching his for just a fraction. First promise me you won't decline. Jungkook's eyes flickered to her hand, amused, a faint smirk tugging at his lips. Why should I trust you when I mean nothing to you, remember? Fine, then I won't ask. She turned, ready to walk away, but he caught her wrist, pulling her just close enough that only a breath separated them. You don't get to walk away in the middle. I hate unfinished business. One girl, her pulse quickening. Actually, 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 Mr. Jungkook, actually, me what, Miss Ryan? Before he could finish, Ryan pressed her index finger gently against his lips, teasing. Smile faltered, and something in his chest twisted. Let me speak, otherwise, I won't be able to say it. His gaze locked on her finger, on her eyes, on her lips. She didn't realize her finger still lingered against him, sending a storm through him he couldn't contain.
Actually, there's a friend of mine. He has been trying to get a job in your company for years, but hasn't had a chance. I am not asking you to hire him, just maybe give him an interview, test his skills. Her words trembled, but his focus wasn't on them. It was on her. Every detail of her, every flicker of emotion, every supple moment. I'm just requesting, the rest is your choice. If you say it with so much innocence, anyone could give their life for you. Ryan's eyes widened, cheeks burning. Huh? He bit his lips, looking away for a fraction, then back at her. His finger softly pointed at hers. Still resting on his lips, she quickly withdrew it, and he drew in a sharp breath. Anyone could take advantage of you, Miss Ryan. And yet here you are, asking for someone else. No, he really needs it. Jungkook's gaze sharpened, a mix of curiosity and challenge in his eyes. Why should I help you? No, not you. Your friend. Why would I do that? Ryan met his stare without flinching, her own determination flaring. As a human, why? Weren't you helping me as a human? Then why can't I help those who actually needs it? He scoffed, voice low and teasing, yet there was a flicker of something beneath it. When did I say I was helping you as a human? Ryan's heart fluttered slightly at the sharp edge in his tone. Then why? He shook his head slowly, his expression unreadable, serious now. I don't know. Ryan blinked, confusion and exasperation crossing her features. Will you? He sighed, a low, deliberate sound, eyes still fixed on her. Will I get anything from you? Ryan's jaw clenched, caught between exasperation and a tiny flutter of intrigue. His gaze stirred in her. Don't worry, I'll ask what you can afford. I'm trying to figure out something. So you'll need to help me. When I call, you talk. You come to office and meet me. Ryan clutched her back tightly, uncertainly, mingling with relief. Your intentions don't sound very good to me. He chuckled, softly, low and easy. If they weren't good, would you even be standing here? Ryan blinked, caught off guard by the logic she couldn't follow. I didn't understand. He turned his back straight, gaze unwavering. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. And mail me his CV today. Relief bubbled over in Ryan, and a small, genuine smile broke across her lips. She quickly covered it, shy and flustered. Smile freely, that suits you. Ryan's cheeks warmed, the tension between them lingering heavy and electric. She nodded silently, heart still hammering from the exchange. Ryan's step faltered slightly as she turned to leave, but curiosity made her glance back one last time. Um, aren't you perhaps falling for me, Mr. Jungkook? Not seeing me as your dream girl, right? His chest tightened, hurt, thudding violently. His eyes widened momentarily, caught off guard by her sudden question. No, why? Ryan's lips curved into a small smile, knowing smile. Good, because I don't have those qualities of your idol love, which you told me. Her words sent a jolt through him. You aren't my ideal girl either. You are the opposite of the one I want to end up with. Moreover, you are too young for a man like me. A man like you means he bit his lower lip at her innocent, unguarded tone, shaking his head almost imperceptibly. Nothing. The moment was broken as Era appeared, her presence shifting the air. Are you two done? Meeting Jungkook. He nodded curtly, composed, while Ryan's eyes flicked toward Ara. Um, okay, thank you, Mr. Jungkook. He gave only a sharp nod, in return his attention already shifting. Ryan hesitated and walked, as Ara linked her arm around his, and Jungkook gaze snapped to them immediately. Jungkook eyed on it, and his expression was obvious, and Ara realized, oh, she said, to pull back. No, we can hold
hand like this. We are friends, right? Jungkook cut her off, pressing her lips together, eyes momentarily flicking toward Vine. She froze in her place, caught in the tension, stealing by the quick glance before he turned sharply away. Ara chuckled softly. We are friends, right? Oh, stop it. Why are you talking like that? Vine's eyes lingered on their hands for a fleeting moment, feeling an unexpected touch of emotion she couldn't name. She felt Era's soft laugh trailing behind her, yet teasing and bothering. Why does he always? What is wrong with him? Why do I even care? She walked on Jungkook's side as Era looked at him. Jungkook's jaw tightened slightly, his gaze fixed on the spot where Vine had vanished down the corridor. The faint trace of frown lingered, betraying the calm exterior he tried too hard to maintain. Jealous little creep, I know all the tea, but hats off to her. How she managed to flip her grumpiness in minutes, not easy word. Jung remained silent, lips pressed into a thin line, eyes still locked on the hallway. You feel she's your type? Jungkook shook his head sharply, dismissing the idea. Nah, totally opposite. Had to get. Ara tilted her head, amusement sparkling in her eyes, still falling for her. He scoffed, a humorless sound that barely covered the flicker in his chest. No, maybe just attraction, I think. Ara's smirk widened. Unrelenting, she leaned back, eyes glinting with mischief, knowing perfectly well that he was lying to her, and maybe even to himself. Yeah, sure, nothing attraction, right?